Okay, so last time we bundled our data together to make it easier to work with. And this time we're going to do collisions. So collisions are super useful for bullets, platforming, obstacles. So we're going to create a collision function and we'll be able to modify that in the future. So first what we'll do is we'll copy our game that we already had from game 2 and we'll copy it to be game 3. And then we'll go inside game 3 and start creating a collision function. So we'll go ahead and def collision, and we'll do it between entities right now. So it'll be A and B. And then essentially what we want to do is, if you think about it, we want to have rectangles. So the idea for the rectangle is we want to check if the left edges, the maximum of the left edges is beyond the minimum of the right edges, right? Then we know that the two rectangles are separated along the x-axis. And then we can also check and see if the max of the top edges goes below the minimum of the bottom edges. And that says, okay, are they separated along the y-axis? And then if we negate that, then we can tell if something is inside, because that allows us to check if they're outside. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and negate, and we'll check these things, and we'll say, okay, we want to check if the max of the AX and the BX, if the max of those is less than or is greater than, right? So if the max of those is greater than the minimum of AY of the bottom, right? So we'll plus A X and B, A size. That's what we want to have. And then we'll have plus B X B size. All right, so there we go. So if those things are true, in fact, to make this just a little bit easier to read, we'll bring these things down. So if that is less or is greater than that, then we know that it's false. And we'll also do if the max of the AY versus BY, if that is greater than the minimum of the AY plus A size. Let's see. What do we do? Yeah. And plus BY with B size. There we go. So if we take the negation of that, that should give us whether we have a collision or not. So what we'll do is we will go down here to our main function, and we already are checking for a collision here, but it's hard coded for the particular player in goal. So what we're going to do is take this and just comment it out right now. Oops. And then we'll add when collision between the player and goal, we'll do this particular thing, right? So let's close this. Let's do Janet main. And if we touch, okay, yep. So if we touch, what if we touch over here? Okay, we're going to touch from the other side. Okay, touch from the bottom. Okay, so if we touch the goal at any time, we now win, and we can press enter, and that's good. So that gives us a new way to do these things. So we'll have these kinds of collisions. So we can already take this away, this code, and we now have great collision code. Whoops. We'll go back up here. Now, the only thing that's interesting here is we have this size. Now, the size is good for it's good for a square, but what we'd like to have is, say, is to have maybe the x, the second x coordinate or something, or maybe the width And maybe we'll say we want the width of a particular entity and maybe the height of a particular entity. And so what we'll do to make this collision function more general is add a little bit to our entity. What we want to do is add maybe a couple more functions here that will allow us to get the width and height, because we already have this center X and center Y, which is nice for drawing certain things. It would be nice to have, say, a width and a height. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll add a function for width and a function for height. So self, and the width will simply be in this case, we'll actually do the size. Our entity right now just has like a size. So that's what we're going to do, is just we'll return self with size. And that makes that. And then we'll do a height function self size. But what this allows us to do is in the future, when we have entities that can have different widths and heights, then what we can do is our collision can deal with those widths and heights. And so this is what we'll do, is we'll actually call the function on this. So we'll have the width of A, and we'll have the height of A, and we're going to have the width of B, and the height of B. Whoops. There we go. So if we do those things, we should be able to run this again, and it should still give us the same. Yes, so we win. Okay, so now we have a collision. I guess the other thing that we could do, that's probably good enough for today for a nano game. We still have essentially the same functionality that we've had for a couple games now, but we have enough created that we can start adding more features to the game. So we can actually start building different games. And that's what we'll do next time. So until then.